G'day everyone, Dean here and Holly from Little Corner of Yellow and Fly to the Next. We're here today to talk about the game on the weekend. Holly, a Phoenix win. How's that feel?
I mean, we saw a Phoenix win last weekend, but yeah, good to see the men get a win on the board. Could have been one of those matches where we start with a leading, thought we're leading, and then we wind up dropping points. Thankfully, thanks to Alex Paulson, we managed not to drop points. We just escaped. So, what were your thoughts?
We don't do anything easily, the Phoenix men's team. Um, as you say, we by the skin of our teeth, and thanks to Alex Paulson, we sort of made it an easy win, or a relatively easy win. Difficult. There were a couple of turning points in the game for me. I think in the first 30 minutes, my notes show that we're pretty much all over Perth, just the better team. And in those 30 minutes, we scored, thanks to Ollie Sale. We'll probably talk a little bit about that in a minute or two. But a few minutes later, Costa gets into the area and he bounces one out off the bottom of the post. I feel if that had gone in, we would have cruised the rest of the game. We would have been, Perth would have been in damage control, and we would have had a little bit of a sort of like a less heart palpitation inducing run to the 90 minutes. But as I say, we don't do things easily. We do stupid things to make things more difficult for us. So
I think that's sometimes what it feels like. I mean, I don't know whether that's just a sense as a fan or whether that's statistically true. I think the matter of how many points we dropped last season from leading positions probably backs up that sense. I really hope we're not going to have that this season, but we nearly did. First goal I thought was really good. Obviously, it was a gift from Mr. Oliver Sale, who has been really poor since he left the Knicks. I mean, he was always a little bit dodgy at times, right? But yeah, he had an absolute clanger last week. So this weekend has been the weekend before, and then the Australia Cup playoff match was also a horror mistake for him. So I don't know what's happened. He's always been a little bit dodgy with playing out the back or coming out of his box, but I don't know what's happened, but it was a really nice goal.
yeah, look, if Oscar Zavata was a charity, Ollie chipped in with the charity. He should get some tax rebates on that because it was, as I say, it was a gift. There you go, mate. Chip it in. It was, I mean, just watching the replay, it was like you couldn't have done a better pass if you tried. I think.
Yeah. I mean, people were joking he accidentally, intentionally passed it to Oscar Zavada because he used to play with him, but I think he was trying to pass to somebody. He was actually trying to pass to somebody else. He just stuffed it up, big time. Our other scorer was Bojidar Kraev. I think that the person who sort of made that goal was Costa, who did a wonderful run, laid it off to Zavada, who quickly laid it off to Kraev, who slotted it home. So that felt really good as well.
I'm going to go one play back from that, and for me, Ben Old made that because the ball was passed out from the opposition. Ben did a lunging intercept and then passed it off to Costa. Costa made the miracle run up to see, and then from there, this just the magic that we've been waiting for sort of clicked in, and it was just that one pass touch, and then the side foot finish to the near post. It was great, but yeah, for me, the credit for that goal goes to Ben Old for intercepting that pass. And I felt when he came on, he made a real difference. Now, Mo Altay had a really good game, I felt. Sort of relatively invisible, made no mistakes. But for mine, on my notes show, I put down he had a good run. But Ben coming on made a great difference. There was just energy and vigor in attack. And yes, he started that winning goal along.
No, that's fair, and I really enjoy when, often you get caught up in the finish. or the direct assist, and you forget about the what built before that, the passes before that, and you're quite right. Lunging and set, pass that on. That's the kind of play that we need to, and it was the perfect counter-attacking goal. Just players sprinting up the field, connecting the passes, making the runs. It's was so good to see. I think another player, at least in the outfield, that had a cracking game was Tim Payne. I'm not sure if I've seen him play that well for us in the past. Incredible.
Yeah, look, you don't often see Tim as involved as he was on the weekend, and yeah, he was there, on attack and defense. He was just every bloody where. It was great to see. So yeah, I'd say, talking about the player of the match, there was really only two contenders, Alex and Tim. But yeah, to say the first 20 minutes, he had, I think the stats are something like 6 attacking runs down the sideline for Tim Payne, which normally he'd probably do in a season. So to do that in one match is fantastic. So in the interview afterwards, he looked sort of quite happy about it, maybe getting a little bit more freedom from Chiefy and the rest of the formation to allow that. But yeah, it was great to see. He was lucky not to score as well.
Yeah, how good to see. Why don't we start with the two defensive bloopers, we're going to say. If I recall rightly, we really shouldn't have given away the free kick that led to the Beavers goal. Yep. It was, I think, one of those stupid ones that were really not worth giving away. And then Beavers, who's a good player, managed to get up and hit the ball, which I think is a bit of a pity considering the height that we've got across the team. Any thoughts on that goal?
No, it was so innocuous. I didn't even sort of spot what had caused the foul. I thought, oh, geez, another free kick. And then it went in. So there didn't seem to be a lot of aerial competition for him to get to that. And it was just, we phoenixed it up again. That was a very soft goal to give away, but if you're going to do it, we're going to do it. Excuse me. And yeah, look, that's all I got to say about that. Did they come close? They came close a couple of other times towards the end of the first half. They came back into the game. And my notes again say, look, 2 really good lucky saves and a block on the line from Tim Payne, who sort of kicked it out under Alex Paulson. So that for me would give Tim the man of the match if we're ever going to award a man of the match, just because of his attacking prowess. But he also sort of saved us, kept us in the game at that.
Yeah, that was an incredible save. I mean, Alex, I believe, fumbled that. And so we were very lucky. I think we would have struggled if they had pinched a goal there. Let's talk about the biggest blooper of the match, which was poor Lucas Kellyhold, who's been playing really well. Just loses a bit of concentration and gives away a very, very needless handball. I'm guessing that's by the books. That's a handball. It's really unfortunate that the ball was going out, and to make a mistake like that, I don't think he'll ever make that mistake again. Any thoughts?
Yeah, exactly. I've got just I don't think I've seen a more of a blunder than that in the penalty. Sometimes you see players sort of leaping for the ball and touch it. You could be excused for that, perhaps, because you're surrounded by other players. You're going out for a corner. You're leveraging your body, but that was just like you're not even really looking at the ball, and you've got your hand in the way. It's kind of like
it's a loss of focus.
Yeah. I say it's never going to do it again. I don't think anybody associated with this team would ever do that again. Just sort of such a painful way to remind yourself of the basics.
It could have cost us 2 points.
Exactly.
I mean, he's young, he's learning, and I've seen all sorts of silly reasons for penalties to be, to give away penalties. But yeah, that was unfortunate. Those 2 points were saved by the one, the only King Alex Paulson.
How good was he, and how assured and confident does he look in the area? And even though I was having kittens again because we're doing that playing out from the back And we're doing it not when, we're almost on our own goal line doing it. And I'm sure it's going to bite us in the ass one day, but it just wasn't that day. I think it did build up his confidence more by doing that. Just the touches on the ball and the movement. But yeah, he was fantastic. And the look on his face just after he'd made that save. Yep.
It was great.
And then the immediate switch, come on boys, we've got a corner to defend.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
He's like shoving and yelling. Yeah, how good.
Yeah, and it's just, that's homegrown talent, And he's been with us now for years, and it is his time to shine, and he is. The last 2 games, he's been great. So it's just, it was his day. And he's got a great record for saving penalties. You recall in the Australia Cup a couple of seasons ago, where he knocked Melbourne City out pretty much by himself, but with a bunch of saves as well. So he's got form, and he had a great game, and it was great to see.
Cool. Were there any other particular talking points out of that? The turnout was not that we here in the little corner of yellow can criticize turnouts, because sometimes it's literally us in an inflatable sheet. But a lot of people were disappointed with, I think it was about 6,100 for a nice day, Saturday afternoon match. I mean, in terms of crowds elsewhere, it's probably not that bad. I mean, it was obviously beaten by like Victory and whatnot, but I don't know what we've done.
That 6,100 these days is probably pretty good. I mean, the photos that admin shared of the Yellow Fever Zone looked like that was sort of packed and heaving, which was great, and you just couldn't see it on camera, unfortunately.
Yeah, they were packed.
And when we compare that, I mean, watch the Central Coast Mariners versus Macarthur last night, and there was probably Macarthur's away supporters numbered pretty much the litter of corner of yellow, and we were a bunch of supporters from another country. So hats off to the Yellow Fever for turning up. There was talk about maybe sort of high prices were keeping people away, and that might be a consideration. But I don't. Success is going to attract more people, so the more we win, maybe the more people will come along.
Yeah, I think the intractable problem, that is a problem for a lot of the teams in the A-Leagues, is just stadium size.
Yep.
Having something and shape, stadium size and stadium shape. But, there's just nothing.
Yeah.
There's just nothing for us. And it does look very, very empty because the Fever Zone, you can hear them, but you can't see them. And I think if people haven't been before, they don't know where they are and that they're there. And it is what it is. Like, I don't blame them for being located where they're located. It's a really good spot on the corner, but I think people who haven't really been to Wellington don't see that there's actually a lot of people there, and they looked like they were pumping, so good on them.
And hats off to the Glory supporter who went over. By all accounts, he had a good time, and the Fever looked after him, and that's the important thing, I think.
Yeah, I love that. So next weekend, we've got Raw, who are fourth on the table at the moment. What was the latest result? Oh, right. They beat Sydney FC very comfortably on Friday. So they're having a pretty good time at the moment. Then again, Sydney FC is just simply also not having a good time at the moment. So it's hard to tell. It's a home match. It'd be nice to sneak a win.
It's going to be a draw or a win for me, with the women, I think, winning. But the men, a draw or a win. There's plenty to be positive about. I don't think there's sort of any injuries or major injuries. Got Worley out, but Sam Sutton, but I think we've got cover there. Maybe Oldie gets a start.
It'll be good. It's really promising. I know people were a little bit depressed about our attack in round 1 for the men, but Wanderers thrashed their opponents There were 25 goals in the A-League Men over those 6 fixtures, and the Matildas scored 8 yesterday.
Yep.
So, absolute goal fest. So, yeah, I think the fact that we held off Western Sydney Wanderers' attack isn't so bad. The match against Perth was really promising. I just hope we can solidify for the rest of the season.
Yep, I agree with that. And look, if you look at the table, you think it's upside down. You got Melbourne City and Sydney FC down the bottom.
And
I'm not sure if you saw that game. They were just magnificent. The goals were fantastic. And again, it's the young kids.
the kids are all right, mate. This is the thing. I don't believe in this big name marquee business. Yeah. I don't. I want to see the kids because they're really good. All of them across all of the teams that are doing it.
Yep.
So, any final thoughts?
No, look, I think I've covered everything that I put down in my notes. So I'm glad I did write some notes down. Yeah, no, I think I did notice. I did put down Callie Hill looked really good right up until about the 87th minute. But they all had a good game. Finn Sermon, we didn't mention his name very much, but he was just solid at the back doing the job. And again, look, there's just another kid who's come through the ranks.
How good.
Apart from that, yeah, look, I don't think anything else to mention. So thanks, Holly. Shall we call it there?
I think we should call it there. Short and sweet.
Cheers, everyone. Thanks very much for listening.